minutes, I'm going to show you a system that can help you to improve your sales number and fast track your opportunities in your pipeline. It's not a new sales methodology. In fact, regardless of what methodology you're using, this will work. As a sales leader, you're always aware of the fixes that needs to happen in your system, the things that are currently not working, your pain points, and you know that a lot of little things needs to be improved. If you look at this simple pipeline that I've put in place, this is super simplified for purpose of this conversation. That goes from lead to opportunity to proposal to contract. You can see, for example, in lead generation space, you would see, for example, we are not using events really well to create leads, or we are not using LinkedIn for lead generation. Or in opportunity phase, we don't have enough videos to show the demo, or we don't have any battle cards, for example, or they are outdated. In proposal section, if you look at it, you will see, oh, we don't have a tracking system, so we don't know if customers are using our system or if they are interacting with the case studies or emails that we've sent. Or in contract, we know our contract is old and it's not easy to amend, and it takes a very long time forward and backward to get a sign off on something. So from all these things that each one of them has a metric associated with them, how do you decide which one to go ahead with? Actually, you don't. Let me show you a picture and you would know what I mean. Let's look at this picture. At the back, you see a end-to-end of pipeline that has been mapped, and it has all the steps in your sales pipeline from beginning to the end. This is the sales team that you would invite. These are the guys that some of your guns, some of your architects, your SMEs, some of your newcomers, your hunters, your farmers, anyone that is working on your sales pipeline. They will attend this workshop. Then we ask them that map the pain points across this end-to-end pipeline. Those red dots that you see in the background, they are that. And then next step, we'll ask them to, using these cards, to put a size and frequency of these problems. This will allow you to be able to, this allows everyone to see which one is a bigger problem. And then we'll ask them to prioritize. And that's a specific method of prioritization or approach of prioritization that we ask them, which one of these problems is the most important one for our customers? Not which one is the one that makes more money for us. And you can tell from this picture which one was getting the highest words and who got nominated. If we go back to the board that I originally had, let's say team prioritizes 4 things for us. We are light on lead generation, so let's look at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the future. Our battle cards belong to industrial era or Stone Age. And we need to install a tracking system, and we make sure we're measuring the things that we want. And let's say this is what they choose. At the beginning of a quarter, we will commit to these 3 items, to these 3 fixes to put in place. Then we will say, okay, for 7 sprints, we apply the change and we see how we improve on a metric that is associated with them. For example, this one is basically number of leads or number of phones that we get. We baseline them for 7 sprints. We will do what we need to do, and then we'll stop. Why is it 7? In generally change of a habit or behavior of a person or an organization, which is made of people, you need to hear something 7 times and you need to do it 25 times. But before committing to 21 times, we'll stop at 7 to see if it's working or not. That's great because 7 sprints is associated with, it's mapped to a quarter. It's pretty good. After 7 sprints, we stop and we'll do a measurement. When we are measuring, we want to always compare the results to get insight to see if it's working or not, or did it help. We compare that quarter's results with the previous quarter, or and we compare that with the last year same time. That makes sure that we are not the change or the change on the results is not because of the environment. As a true change. Let me look at one item so you get a view of what could be inside it. I'll just pick this one. Let's say they never used LinkedIn before. We need to get a Sales Navigator license. We need to create filters so you know which accounts we are targeting. We need to create the right messaging sequence because we want to have different touch points with our clients. And we want to have a couple of case studies, so we send that to them and that delivers some value. And then at the beginning of a sprint, all team comes together, they decide which accounts they want to target, and each day they will update their trackers as what they've done. That's basically a tactical way of looking at their activities. And then in a sprint review, we say, okay, how did we go? Let me show you a tracker that we put in place a while ago, so we're not using this anymore, but it's good for you to get a visual of what I'm talking about. This was a sequence of messages. This was the period that we were using it, and this was the delays that between each message was there. And each one of team members had a tracker, so they could come and say, okay, how they're progressing or what's been happening. And here we had leads, calls, and the impact of the change or activity. And then, well, let's say this comes in flight, we go 7 sprints with it, at the end we stop and measure. It is as simple as that. This system that I showed you allows you to get your teams buy-in. Remember, you didn't tell them what needs to be done, you asked them and involved them in that prioritization decision making. The other thing that is important about that is that it moves you from knowing a space to doing a space. A lot of sales leaders, they know what needs to be done, but getting their teams to come along with them, that's their challenge. And this system is a quite tangible method to get people moving and create momentum and create results. Another thing is it's really helpful in terms of managing noise, if you know what I mean. One other point, but probably is the most important point of this program, this whole system. Each one of these cards is improving a metric, a number, or a percentage. However, the whole system that I talked to you about, prioritize, implement, measure, will improve one specific metric, and that's your funnel velocity. It's a metric that has element of time to it and very easily associated with accounting concepts such as early revenue turn on. This is the only metric and one of the most exciting ones for me because it's a good challenge to move the needle on it. For us to be able to change that or improve it, you need to do so many things in your system in order to be able to increase the speed of opportunities in your funnel. And that's a big challenge. I've put everything into a program that is action by action, it helps you to implement this. And you can tell I am excited about this. If you have any questions, any problems, you want me to clarify anything for you, contact me and I would love to talk to you about this.